Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Publio. I'm here again to sing a couple of songs, preparing our environment, preparing our soul, so to feel comfortable. So I'm gonna sing a couple of songs, and I hope you enjoy it. A good old man. Blue crystal eyes, color of the sky, gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Crystal eyes, color of the sky, gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Easy, apostle of the gloom, receive our prayers and also our heart. Easy, apostle of the light, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ. Bezerra de Menezes, apostle of the good, receive our prayers and also our heart. Bezerra de Menezes, apostle of the light, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ. Song to Mother Zephyrina. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort. Cascades flow down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their heart, with love in their heart. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in our hope. The solution lies in our hope. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian. Make your small son a good Christian. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity.
Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, mate, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build that bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face, love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrows, no more bad days, no more cries, no more dark home place, no more fear, no more fight. Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, babe, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled water, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face, love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days, no more cries, no more dark home place, no more fear, no more fight. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face, love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days, no more cries, no more dark home place, no more fear, no more fight. Let the sun walk on the way, shine, shine. Let the sun walk down the way, shine, 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 shine. good of getting together. It's always good to do the good. I do believe the world can be better, and I know that you believe it too. Papa, Mama, brothers and sisters, let's get ready for our new dawn. This is the time for those big changes we have all been waiting for so long. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. It's always good of getting together. It's always good to do the good. I do believe the world can be better, and I know that you believe it too. Papa, Mama, brothers and sisters, let's get ready for our new dawn. This is the time for those big changes we have all been waiting for so long. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. Listen to this call, the time is right now. Here is the place, so let's move in a faster pace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace. Jesus waiting for us to spread His grace.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Spiritist talk. We thank everyone for joining us tonight. And before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place if possible. Our meeting will have a 30-minute presentation followed by a Q&A. Then, after the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water, so we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. We would like to announce that our meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Concafras Americas through their Facebook, and will also be retransmitted every Wednesday at 8 p.m. East by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. And now we have a special invitation for those who want to learn more about Spiritism. Get to Know Spiritism is a free and online course that happens every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. East, and a new class will start on fall 2024. So if you are interested, more information will be given soon, so stay tuned. We offer virtual live gospel at home. Did you know that? The gospel at home is an effective support for you and your family's spiritual harmony. We will motivate and guide you in establishing and maintaining the gospel at home study meetings. By posting in the chat, you can request it. So please let us know. You are also welcome to include your or someone else's names on the list for positive vibrations, incarnate or discarnate. The person you indicate will be assisted by good spirits to provide healing, energy, and strength and goodwill. Please find the link in our chat. And the topic of today's meeting will be Do Not Go to the Gentiles, items 8 to 10 from chapter 24. Do not hide your lamp under the bushel, which will be facilitated by our sister Marcelle from Oshawa, Ontario. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and we will be addressing those questions at the end of the talk. And now we would like to invite tonight's speaker, who will also be doing our opening prayer. Welcome, Marcelle.
Hi, Larissa. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, a little nervous.
Oh, I'm sure it will be fine. And we are really happy to have you here today.
I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for having me. Okay, as
So
usual.
see you in the end, okay?
Okay, thank you. So now I invite everyone to close your eyes if you wish. Let's close our eyes and elevate our thought in God. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to be here one more Tuesday in order to study about your teachings and know a little bit about our real life. We ask your blessing for us, our family, and for all the humanity. Please, Master Jesus, I ask your blessing and inspiration during the presentation, and may I be able to explain well your teachings and message. Thank you for everything you have done for us. And we ask your protection today and always. So be it. Okay, so let's put the presentation here. So once again, good evening. Thank you for joining us. May the peace of Jesus be with each one of us. And we ask the good spirits to help us in this study that we are going to do, in us doing to our evidence ignorance. So as Larissa said, today we will talk about the chapter 24, Do Not Hide Your Lamp Under a Bushel, items 8 to 10. And let me pass here. So it was a moment when Jesus, according to the evangelist Matthew, recorded the following guidance to the apostles. So he said, Jesus sent out his 12 disciples after having given them the following instructions. Do not go to the Gentiles and do not enter the cities of the Samaritans. Instead, go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And wherever you go, preach, saying that the kingdom of heaven is near. It is in Matthew chapter 10, verses 5 to 7. So, let's come back. Yeah. So, why is it important for us to understand this passage? So, because the understanding of Christ's gospel is essential for our lives. Even if, in one way or another, the teachings of Jesus may seem more directed towards the people of that time who lived with Jesus, to whom he addressed those words. It is certain that in all passages we extract teachings that fit perfectly into our current experience. So this passage raises some questions in our mind when we see these statements. So Jesus advising not seek the Gentiles not to go to the Samaritan cities. So we brought 4 questions, and we're gonna try to answer those questions during the presentation. The first one is, why did Kardec choose this passage to include right in the chapter that says not to hide the lamp under a bushel? And who were the Gentiles and Samaritans? And why did Jesus recommended not going to Gentiles and Samaritans? And how does this apply to us Spiritists? So, to begin of the explanation and to answer the first question, so we need to understand that 4 evangelists wrote about Jesus. One of them was John, the only one who wrote about the spiritual and divine aspect of Jesus' time on earth. The other 3 were Matthew, Luke, and Mark, recorded the human aspects of Jesus' time on earth. And these passages, shared by the 3 evangelists, have a common passage and records. So as the picture shows here. So those passages that are common to the records of the 3 evangelists are called triple tradition, then distributed as shown in this picture. The passages that are recorded in common between the 2 evangelists, Matthew and Luke, are called double tradition. But there are still passages that are exclusive to each of the evangelists. 3% recorded by Mark on the top, 20% recorded by Matthew on the right side and bottom, and 35% recorded by Luke on the bottom side left. This is known as the Synoptic Gospels. And it is interesting for us to discuss this in the study to understand why Kardec took this approach. So the only passage where Jesus mentions not going to the Gentiles or the Samaritans cities is recorded in the book of Matthew. With this, Kardec wanted to avoid any interpretation that would lead to a contradiction of Jesus' teachings. So the do not go to the Gentiles passage is exclusive of the book of Matthew, which we do not find in the books of Luke or Mark. Kardec brought it precisely into the chapter of do not put the lamp under the bushel to tell us and elucidate what Jesus meant in this passage. Although a superficial, simplistic, and summarized analysis may lead some people to believe that Jesus contradicted himself, it was not the case. So the first question is answered. Why did Kardec choose this passage to include right in the chapter that says not to hide the lamp under a bushel? So the answer is to clarify and remove any doubts surrounding the teachings of Jesus. In many circumstances, Jesus shows that his sights are not limited to the Jewish people, but they encompass all humankind. It would be strange if Jesus had chosen only one people to the detriment of all humanity, right? So through Spiritism, we know that the teachings of Jesus are for all peoples and nations. Therefore, if he told his disciples not to go to the pagans, it was not that he disdained converting them, which would have been uncharitable, but because the Jews who believed in the oneness of God and awaited the Messiah had been prepared by the law of Moses and the prophets to receive his word. So we recall in this passage, we perceive that the Jews believed in the existence of a single God and that they were awaiting the Messiah. We recall that Jesus lived in a time without technology, no internet or social media, so he preached personally only to the audience present there. And he did this for a short time, approximately 3 years of teachings to those who had the blessed opportunity to live with the Master. It is evident that this message would not have survived to this day if it were not for his followers, his disciples, seeking to multiply his message, bringing it to those who did not have the opportunity to know Jesus and his teachings. Despite the great distance that Jesus traveled on foot, if we look at our planet, the area he covered is very small. Therefore, it was the duty of his followers to take this message to places where Jesus could not be. Here is where the lesson of Christ seems contradictory. Do not go to Gentiles and go to the Samaritans, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Jesus recommended to the apostles that they take his message, his gospel, to the Jews, to the people where Jesus incarnated. This may seem contradictory, especially if we consider other teachings of Jesus. In the same Gospel of Matthew, Jesus teaches that his message should not be hidden from anyone. In the Gospel of Mark, Jesus recommended, go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. And here we encounter this passage where Jesus said, do not go first to the Jews, to the Hebrews, to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. This may seem strange to us. Among the pagans, where even the base was lacking everything needed to be done, and the disciples were not yet sufficiently enlightened for such a weighty task. So, but let's first situate ourselves geographically. The Jews were descendants of Abraham, Joseph, and Jacob. They were the only ones who believed in a single God. They were monotheistic. In their scriptures, they revealed the coming of a Messiah. So, religiously speaking, they were the most advanced of the time and expected a savior, someone who would come to establish the kingdom of heaven among people. They differed from others, so much so that the term Gentiles refers to all who were not Jews. The pagans people were believed in and worshipped various gods. The differentiation helps us understand that the Jews were more prepared at that time to assimilate Jesus' teachings, Jesus' message, while the Gentiles would need a much greater effort. They needed to have a religious foundation first, believing in a single just and good God, not human, who would send his most perfect Son to bring teachings that humanity could not have until that moment. And the Samaritans were a dissident group from the Jewish people in the gospel, One more than one occasion, Jesus used the Samaritans as example of good people. The examples of the Samaritan woman who offers water to Jesus, and with a single word he speaks to her, she believes and converts to Christianity. The healing of 12 lepers. And in the end, only one comes back to thank Jesus, and it's the Samaritan. So Jesus used Samaritans as example of good people. However, religiously, they differed from the Jews due to the ideological reasons, even cultural conflict, and they did not believe in the prophecies. They believed only in the early laws of Moses, which had been established more than a millennium ago. So that is why he told them, go to the lost sheep of Israel. That is, go and sow on ground that has already been prepared, knowing that the conversion of the Gentiles will come in its own time. So, when Jesus said that, Jesus is not saying that the message should not be taken to others. On the contrary, it would be taken, but in the first instance, it needed to reach those who already had a minimum of preparation, a minimum of foundation to receive Jesus' message. This is obvious if we look at our culture. When we have a revolutionary teaching, something new, we first bring it to those who are already capable of understanding it, right? Um, there is also the aspect of waiting. The Jews had been waiting for the Messiah for a long time. There were numerous prophecies announcing his coming. Interestingly, they expected a different kind of savior because the Jewish people lived under the oppression of various people. At the moment, there was it was the Romans, but previously it would have been others. So they expected someone who would liberate them, a king, someone who could end the domination of other people over them. And here comes Jesus, simple, humble, the son of a carpenter. For this reason, many of his people, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, did not recognize him as the master, as the Messiah. But among the Jews, there were those who had love in their hearts, who had enough humility and simplicity to recognize in that man the moral authority that brought revolution to humanity. Systematic disbelievers, obstinate scoffers, and self-centered adversaries are to them what the Gentiles were to the disciples. We need to say that the work with the Gentiles would still be done, and it wouldn't take long. Shortly after the crucifixion, Jesus appears in spirit to Saul, who later adopted the name of Paul, and he would be a greater apostle of the Gentiles, bring the Christian message to those who were not Jews. But this happened later, after the house was prepared, after the ground was sown. In that first moment, not even the Gentiles were prepared to receive that message. And perhaps not even the apostles were prepared for a task of so much or such magnitude. But the time would come, and then Paul and other great disciples like Luke, Barnabas, Peter went to Rome, the center of the paganism and brought Christianity to the center of the world at that time, thanks to the tireless work of the apostles of Jesus, because otherwise the message could have been lost over time. But thanks to their effort, this message was spread throughout the world. Based on that, we come with the second question. Who were the Gentiles and who were the Samaritans? So the Gentiles is a term that designates non-Israelite and derives from the Latin term gens, and Samaritans were a portion of a population in the northern region of Israel who, following the political division of the 12 tribes, were not considered Jews by the other tribes. So, the second question was answered, right? So, exactly, the Samaritans established their own kingdom, cities, interpretation of the scriptures. Do it to these differences, especially difference in the interpretation of the divine laws and the writing of Moses. Other Jews simply did not consider Samaritans to be true Jews. Thus, in following their example, they first seek to make converts among persons of goodwill, those who desire the light, in whom a fertile seed may be found, and those numbers are great, without wasting their time on those who refuse to see or hear, and who the more importance is attached to their conversion, are all the more obstinate out of pride. Well, when we requested not to go to the Gentiles, it did not mean that the apostles should discredit the pagans. He did not mean that those who were not from the house of Israel should not receive the message. In fact, if we read in the books of Luke and book of Mark, we will see the same statement saying to go to all places. And even if you are not received, to shake the dust off your sandals and move on. It meant that the pagans were not yet ready to receive Christianity. This conversion would happen in due time because the apostles themselves were not yet very enlightened for this task, as we already said. The one who was prepared for this task, who would come to develop it, was Paul of Tarsus, as we mentioned previously. He came shortly after he was born in the region now known as Turkey, considered Roman citizen, and equipped with the education culture to speak to those people at their level. So, the third question: why did Jesus recommend not going to the Gentiles and Samaritans? The Jews were prepared by Moses and the prophets. The pagans lacked a foundation, and the apostles were not yet enlightened enough for such a heavy task. Leaving the others alone is not indifference, but good policy. Their time will come when they are persuaded by general opinion, and when they hear the same thing constantly repeated around them. Then they will believe they will have accepted the idea voluntarily and by themselves and not do it due to the pressure of someone else. We do not need to offend the freedom of others. We should respect it as the divine entity has done with us and continues to do so today. Some ideas are like seeds. They cannot germinate outside the appropriate season or in a soil that has not been prepared beforehand. So we need to respect others, right? The same thing applies to ideas as applies to seeds. They cannot germinate before the right season and the only prepared soil. That is why it is better to wait for the propitious time and to first cultivate those that germinate, thus avoiding aborting the others by pushing them too hard. So, for those individuals, we should not bring this knowledge, not because they are not capable, but because they don't want it. They do not desire it. And these opinions and ideas, we need to respect them. As long as they do not accept or desire opinions that are contrary to them, even with the definitive evidence of their reality. In Jesus' time, everything was circumscribed and localized. The house of Israel was a small nation. The Gentiles were small nations surrounding it. Today, ideas are universalized and spiritualized. The new light is not a privilege of any one nation. It's from everyone. It is clear in this message that the light of the gospel is destined for all people. Some are ready to receive the teachings earlier, others later. We just need to respect the time. Moreover, the Gentiles are not longer a people, but an opinion that is found everywhere and over which the truth triumphs little by little, just as Christianity triumphs over paganism. But then we can ask, what does this have to do with me? What can I learn from this recommendation of Christ? Well, for Spiritists or those who sympathize with Spiritism, we must respect the time of others. We can spread the good news, the teachings of Christ, but with people who are open and prepared to receive the Master's teachings. They are no longer combated with weapons of war, but with the power of an idea. We do not have the right to violate others' consciences, to impose our faith and our truth on anyone. We have the right to seek what brings us well-being and share it with others who hold similar beliefs. Those who do not want to know about Spiritism will be irritated one day, but for now, no. Today's Gentiles are no longer a specific people, but rather the unbelievers, mockers, and obstinate adversaries of Spiritism. We must respect the beliefs of others. Everyone has their time to awaken to spiritual matters. So now is the fourth question. And how does this apply to us, Spiritists? If we want to promote Spiritism, whether at the Spiritist Center or in our daily lives, we should seek to approach those who are more prepared, those who have already awakened to spiritual matters and show interest in the spiritual reality. Um, let's learn to identify the fertile ground to invest in and disseminate the teachings of Jesus. We must be open to learn and teaching something. That's why studying in a Spiritist center or a group, it's so important because we grow spiritually through the truth of our true life. But that doesn't mean we should forget others because Jesus said it's not the healthy who need a doctor. So, by the way, our group has a group study. We have a course, it's a free course, and everyone is invited. So, after that, we can talk a little bit more. And it's open for everyone who is prepared to listen these teachings. We just need to know how to wait for people's time because one day we will all be ready to receive the Spiritist message. Jesus was among us, spreading the greatest revolution of humanity, the revolution of love, forgiveness, charity, and solidarity. For this, he had 12 apostles and other disciples who spread his message. And when we were forgetting this message, someone always came to remind us, like Paul of Tarsus, Francis of Assisi, St. Augustine, and many others. When Jesus understood that we were mature enough to learn more and needed to reflect more on his words, understand them properly, he sent the consoler he had promised. Spiritism clarifies what was obscure and brings new knowledge necessary for our evolution. To ensure this message bears fruit, he sent other sowers like Chico Xavier, Divaldo Franco, and many others Brazilian mediums, and many others around the world, tasked with spreading this message once again. In our humility, we know that we haven't accomplished what these great men have throughout humanity's story. But we know that as assistants of these sowers, we can bring a seed, a word to clarify hurts and alleviate the pain of our neighbors through the message of the gospel, through Spiritist knowledge. May we first go to those who are interested and then to those who need it. But let's do what Christ expects of us. Fulfill our part in the grand work of divine creation, always supported by good spiritual friends who assist those with goodwill and a firm intention to do good. And then I brought final message to finalize our talk. I had to divide in some slides because it's a little long. It's from the book of Hope from Emmanuel. The message, the name is In the Face of the Unbelievers. Let's ask compassion for the Let's ask compassion for the unbelievers who throw themselves against the truth of the spirits, attempting to force their way into them. Such needy individuals come from all backgrounds, from landscapes scorched by the fire of suffering, from paths that trials soak with tears, from caves of affliction where they lay chained to despair. There are others who reach our doors, disturbed by the climate of truthness through which they are silent or carrying sarcasm in immature thinking, like unruly children in serious school environment. Many times in the path of daily activity, we are tempted to categorize them as undesirable companions on the journey. However, those who emerge mended by pain and those who indulge in frivolity due to the sheer force of inexperience, are they not equally our brothers before God? Certainly, it is not premise to expend energy and time on them in vain when they appear distant from the sincerity we owe each other. But if they genuinely aspire to learning and renewal, let us help them understand that research and curiosity only hold value when accompanied by serious study and dignified effort. Let us extend to companions hardened by atheism some of our convictions that may aid them in reflection on their own immortality. Let us endeavor to share with them the nourishment of faith in the same spontaneity as someone sharing resource from the table. However, you may ask, what if they refuse, obstinate and mocking the offering we present to them? And if with acts of violence they extinguish the lantern of love that we light for them on the road? And he finalizes. In such question can be formulated by our tranquil conscience after fulfilling our duty of fraternity, it will be necessary to consult logic, and logic will tell you will tell us that they are spiritually blind, and it is our duty to support them in silence at the heart clinic. So may the peace of Jesus remain with us now and always. Thank you so much.
Hi, Marcel. Thank you so much for this talk. It was such a nice topic. I learned a lot, and I really like that part where you mentioned that, like, in the end, if the person is not ready, like, keep kind of like forcing an idea, or this just not, it's not just good, because if the person is not ready, like, it's kind of like it
Gonna
says
hate
in
it,
the
right?
message, right?
Yeah, if we push so hard, the people are gonna hate
We
it.
need to respect, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have some questions.
Mhm.
Let me find them here. So the first one is from our friend Rodrigo Farias, and he asks, does this mean that Jesus' message is delivered according to people's spiritual understanding? Is this why his teachings have many interpretations?
I believe so, but sometimes the person is not ready, so he or she will not understand. Like we know that in the world we have many of different religions, right?
Mhm.
And and we know that nowadays, the current time, spiritism uh, has lots of people against it, right? So people who criticize and say lots of things that because they don't know, they did not study. So I believe that the message comes like when one thing that we always learn when in the spiritism is when the worker is ready, the job comes, right? The work
Yeah.
comes.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it is the same like a comparison, like if the person is ready,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it will understand the message.
The knowledge will come, right?
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like the Jesus teachings is the same, right? But it's just like the way the person perceive that it will be different
Yes,
based on, like it's saying here, right? Like based on their spiritual progress,
yes.
they will
Right.
understand in a way or in other,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and this main interpretation is I think one when I like I don't have enough knowledge, when I don't try to learn and I don't study,
Mm-hmm.
I can interpret it in a way and it could be wrong, in a wrong way, right?
Yes.
So that's why they
Or
study.
maybe just limited, right?
Yes.
So you just understand a part of what is actually saying. So
Hmm.
that's why it's really important to study. And you mentioned about our courses.
Yes.
So it's good for just to, as a reminder that
Yes.
a new class will be starting on the fall. And we
Yes.
actually have one of the students from the course,
Oh,
Marcela. So while you were talking, she mentioned that the course and the instructors are amazing.
thank you,
It's a
Marcela.
good feedback. So if you are interested, more
Yeah.
information will come soon with the link for registration.
Yeah.
So just one last question is from our friend Anna.
Hmm.
And she's asking, can you please remind us again, how can we spread spiritism and the gospel that is in line with Jesus' message? How can we, put the message out there?
We need to be the example in ourselves. We need to live the gospel. We need to be the example, right? We need to study and we need to practice what we learned. Like we need to do charity. We need to spread the love, the message of love, of charity, of fraternity. So
Mhm,
I think the best way to spread the spiritism and the teaches Jesus' message is through our actions. I think it's the
mhm,
best way because, like, if someone says, "Oh no, do charity," but I don't do it,
mhm,
am I a good spiritist? Like, I can only be studying and preaching, but not
mhm,
acting, right? So I think
mhm.
our actions are the best way to spread the gospel.
I agree. That's it. So it's really putting into practice what we are learning, right?
Mhm.
Even though it's a step by step, it doesn't mean that you will change from a day to another, but it means like each day that you live, you will be, like putting a step towards um,
Mhm.
being more like focus, more in line of what
Yeah.
Jesus is saying to us, right?
And we know that we will not evolve ourselves like in all the ways that we can do in this life, right? We
Mm-hmm.
do step by step, like we can be better in this life. We can like overcome some bad aspect with our personality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something that we have and that we know that's not it's not good. So we
Mm-hmm.
can try to improve, to evolve ourselves in this life. But we know that we won't be uh, pure
Perfect.
spirits,
Pure.
yeah, when we die here, right?
Yeah. We'll still need a lot of many lives to come, right? But we need to start in this one. If we are receiving this knowledge in this one, it's because it's time, right? To
Yes.
start putting into practice and, continue our growth as spirits.
Time has come, right?
Yes. No, thank you so much,
Thank
Marcel,
you.
once again for your talk today. It was really nice to see you and to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. So now we will move on to the preparation for tonight's spiritual treatment. And what is spiritual treatment? PES is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. PESs help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with healthy and positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from PESs, please follow the audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the PES, the water that you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that your family and you can benefit from. We will now make a prayer in preparation for the PES, which will be our closing prayer as well. So I invite everyone to join me in this prayer. Let's close our eyes once again, calm our hearts, and elevate our thoughts to our Master Jesus and the friendly spirits that are here with us tonight. Master Jesus, we would like to thank you for this opportunity to learn a little bit more about Spiritism, a little bit more of your teachings according to the Spiritist view. And we ask that you may help us in our spiritual journey. May we be able to apply those teachings to start putting into practice everything that we are learning, especially the learning of love, the charity that we know are our mission as spirits here incarnated. We also would like to put in your hands all the people that are currently in our prayer book, incarnate or discarnate. May each one of them receive your love and peace vibrations in their hearts, assisting them with their inner necessities. May we also be able to receive all the benefits from the spiritual treatment that will start soon, and we ask your protection for the week ahead, trusting that you will stay with us today and always. So be it.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness, by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The Pass begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil, washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the Pass. Thank you, God.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Concafres Americas at 8:30 p.m. East, and the next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. East. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from Spiritism Canada and Spiritist Group Paths of Light. Have a good night.
carry seeds of love as our Master Jesus taught. You will see that behind every sight there's a flame shining bright, tiny spark created by God.